You're a rebel, getting into trouble. You are kinda like a fire, like a fire, like a fire. Unpredictable, so original. You are never backing down, backing down, backing down. That's what I like about you. So dangerous, I get this rush when I'm with you. I go all in to lose or win. Build things up to knock them down. It's the way we keep our high, moving like a hurricane. There will come a time for when we can wash away your sins, settle down, but until then, we're like a hurricane. You're so different, kind of ignorant. You don't care what people say, people say, people say.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, New York. What's up, Philly?
Ah! Welcome to the Come Out Talk Show. I am your host, Pink Princess, located at the Pink Palace in New York City. Today we have a very special guest with us. Joining us in the studio is no one. Our camera person was not feeling well today, and I don't want COVID, so I'm not taking any chances. But we have a great show for you today, and I hope you enjoy it. So without further ado, let's have a chat with the princess. And it is so. Woo! Every time I come out here to give that little speech at the beginning, I'm always out of breath. No, but hello, everybody. Today we have a pretty serious show, and the guest is actually going to be someone a little different from what you're actually used to, but he's a lot of fun. He's actually inspired me to open up a lot today and to also wear this snazzy outfit that I got together because he came dressed to impress. So, As you can see in the opening, you saw a mattress. And I just wanted to open up today about being homeless. It was an experience that I was not expecting, and it was a very humbling experience. The mattress that you saw at the beginning of the show was a mattress that I received upon entering the room that was left for me when I was homeless. I entered into an SRO, and when I got there, this was the mattress left on the bed for me. So as you can see, it has cigarette burns in it, blood stains, all types of stains, you name it, stains. And it wasn't supposed to look like that. It was during COVID, and I didn't have much of a choice. So when I got there, I cleaned the whole room, but I noticed the mattress looked like that. I didn't want to sleep on it. So I went out and I brought a mattress cover, but still, just knowing that that mattress was given to me to sleep on, like I wasn't feeling it. And that mattress was the most humbling experience in my life for me to not take things for granted. It was in that moment that prior to that, everything I had, it was pretty much, I left it. I was in a very dangerous relationship that was toxic on many levels. If there was emotional abuse, financial abuse, mostly from me, the financial abuse. And there was a lot of physical abuse. And while you say, oh, a man only has one time to put his hands on me and I'm out, I used to say that too, but I was, quote unquote, call myself being in love with this person, and it was very hard for me to get out. So what I did was I started planning my escape, and I left items here and there with different people. So the day of my escape, that I could actually go. So the day of my escape, I'm packing to leave, and it didn't work out like that. He came in, and that's a story that I don't want to get into. But long story short, I wound up leaving all of my belongings, and I said, you know what? I'll just start over. And so I opted out to go to this shelter, and that is the mattress that they gave me. As disgusted as I was with the mattress, today I am very humbled by that mattress. Because as I left that place, I went to another that was a little clean, but I didn't take that place for granted. They had certain rules there. I followed the rules. Like I fell in suit, and I took the steps that I needed to get out of homelessness. My homelessness battle was long. It was like 5 years to find a place. And by find a place, I mean a place of my own where I could sign a lease and I actually have a place to call my own. It wasn't a program. That wasn't a program, or that I had people checking up on me, or SROs where we have curfews and people telling us what to do. Basically, when you share bathrooms and stuff, and it could be very dangerous. Throughout my time in being homeless, I was stabbed in my neck, close to the jugular vein, where I had to stick my finger in and rush myself. I ran to the hospital and fell in the emergency room floor, bleeding everywhere. And as you can see, they saved me. That person did go to jail. They're doing time. So me being homeless, it was a very humbling experience. Like I said, I got myself off of drugs. I was someone who turned to drugs to mask the pain that I was going through. And don't ask me which one, because that's none of your business. And I feel that when you start telling people what drugs you used to do, then they start coming up with these drugs all of a sudden to sometimes use that to control you. But thank God that is not the case with me today. I left that life behind, but it was pretty dark for me when I was homeless. I became homeless through an electrical fire. The first time that I became homeless, and then the second time I left my husband. So there was a long bout of me fighting homelessness. A lot to do with I couldn't find an apartment in my city a lot to do with the stigma of the type of programs, of the type of vouchers that they don't want to take from my program. And also being a transgender woman, I had some stigmas up against me. I was even willing to take an apartment the size of a shoebox. I mean, this thing was so tiny. It's like you open the door, you in your bedroom, the kitchen's right there, everything right there, the bathroom. And I was even willing to take that. Do you know they denied me for that little tiny apartment? And I was devastated. I was like, I'll never get an apartment. But I did get one. And just being homeless was very humbling experience. So that's why I'm never mad at the things that I've gone through, because you have to take the lesson out of everything in order to get where you want to go. So thank you for inspiring me to talk about that story, Mr. Young Man. I call him Mr. Young Man because he's very Mr. and he's not so young man, but we're gonna make him into a young man today. He's quite wise and he's quite older. I told you guys what it was like, and I felt like when I was homeless, you know, the people who I needed to receive services from, you know, they talked down to me, they belittled me, they made me feel like I had to kiss their ass in order to receive those services. And sometimes it just made me feel like a tiny person that didn't have any value. But I remember they don't have cooking facilities in some of these places that I was in. And I kept bouncing around from one to one to one to one. If I didn't like something there, I was like, you know, fuck this, and I'm out of here. And I packed my shit up and left until I got to the point where they put me in a dangerous one. And they was like, we're not moving you. And I really needed to move from this place. Like, it was really dangerous. And they would not move me because they told me I was a chronic person who kept having them move me. And I just felt real shitty. But I was looking for cooking utensils, like a little hot plate or whatever. And I met a lady through the marketplace that was selling the utensils. And I went to meet her. I had my money to buy it. And I told her, you know, I really need this because I'm in the shelter, and thank you. And, you know, she said, I went to pay her and she said, no, keep it. She said, you know what? I used to be there. She said, I was homeless. She said, and this is what I used to feed me and my kids. So that was a cool, nice moment. And little by little, I started gaining my faith back in humanity, because I didn't understand how someone could just treat people so badly given their situation of being homeless. I was labeled homeless because I had no home to go to. And but we definitely need more ladies like that. I'm the type of person, I pay it forward also. And but I'll never forget her and how she made me feel, start to build up my confidence. And then I took some training courses, and I got my own apartment eventually, but it was a journey, and it was a very dark journey. And I don't think people really know that about me, because during that journey, I didn't complain. I didn't say anything. It was during Christmas. I was losing my brother. He was dying of cancer, and I couldn't see him physically. We had to FaceTime often. And, you know, I used to just FaceTime with him for hours during COVID on a daily. And yeah, some times there. And during Christmas, one of my friends, shout out to Canada, she sent me a bunch of Christmas decorations, and she said, you know what, you're gonna have Christmas this year. And I did. I bought myself a bunch of gifts, myself and Skittles, and we just had Christmas. And so it's the little things that matter to me, and those are people that I'll take with me for the rest of my life. And thank you. Also, I want to talk about today what it was like for me to, because my brother was battling cancer, right? And although he beat it, you know, one day I got the call that he was back in the hospital, and the machine was using him. The machine was helping him to breathe. And so I was preparing myself for the funeral. That if it had been up to the person who planned it, which is a sibling, an offspring, I wouldn't have made it there. But it was because of a cousin that let me know where the funeral was and where I was going to be at, that allowed me to go there. When I got to the funeral, clearly I've transitioned. Clearly I looked at different from what they remember. And it was no direct speaking to me from my siblings. They all have kids now, and their kids are some adults and some teenagers. And all they were doing was just staring at me like, who's this beautiful tall woman? And no one acknowledged the fact that I was my brother's sibling, the first sibling, as a matter of fact. And they left me out of the obituary as if to erase me. They gave kudos to someone who had not even been in his life. And I'll just say this. It really hurt me to be treated like that, to not be mentioned as a sibling, to be erased and outcast because you don't want to accept who I am. So, yeah, it was very hurtful to receive that type of treatment from people that I thought I knew my whole life. But, my brother had a beautiful, beautiful service. And I speak to him every day. And I know you are with me. And I love you dearly. So the next story I want to talk about, I got to run over here real quick and do this. Because like I said, my camera person is sick today. But look at this, y'all. Take a look at this photo. It says, transgender inmate impregnates 2 women. Okay. Transgender inmate impregnates 2 women in an all-women's prison. So the headlines was this. I read it, and they're trying to spin it like this person's not trans, and then you go to the comment section, and everyone wants to chime in. So here it is. Someone's transition may not, and how they identify, does not necessarily have anything to do with their sexual orientation. I can transition before you, and I can be attracted to women. Same way with male to female. I've seen it. See, what I have is a privilege to just meet a lot of people and connect with a lot of people. And some of these people that I meet, this is their scenario. They transition. No one wants to give them the validation that they're trans. And they say, well, I like women. And then they're like, oh, so why did you become a woman to now have sex with another woman? Because how they identify is how they identify, and who they're sexually attracted to is who they're sexually attracted to. We have to understand that people can't just judge people off of black and white, left to right. Like, people are allowed to identify the way that they want. So, yeah, that story was funny. So this person impregnates 2 women. So that's the fault of you, the officers, who are not doing their jobs to protect and watch out for the individual. How can an inmate just walk around and have sex with other inmates? That's really the problem of the guards, if you ask me. But y'all saw it. Y'all can go read up on it, and we will definitely keep you updated with that story. So, comedian Todd Segura, hope I'm saying that right, blatantly disrespected Jada Pinkett Smith by calling her, I have zero respect for that bald bitch. Why she gotta be a bald bitch? Like, she said that she has alopecia and it makes her hair fall out. Now she's bald, and you're attacking her because she's bald? Like, I don't get it. And why is this open season now on Jada? Like, people, she's human. She's allowed to be sick. She's allowed to be bald-headed too. I think one of the most beautiful things on earth, I can't do it because my head is shaped funny, is a bald-headed woman. I love the shape, and it's really sexy on a man, bald-headed man. But it's something about a bald-headed woman that is very attractive and very sexy. Where we at? Oh, doing good on time. This week was also National Transgender HIV Testing Week, and I was out there. I sat on a panel with some fabulous trans individuals, and it was a day to just reflect and talk about some of the things that we need to do to further the movement, and also what we need to do to make the movement strong. So basically, if you don't know your status, get tested. You should definitely know your status. The more you know. I'll talk about this also. Sometimes the words we speak can harm people. I hurt one of my friend's feelings this week. I made a bad joke, and she almost went into tears, and I felt so bad. I thought about it that day, the next day, and all the days. So what I did was, because I knew that it hurt her feelings, and that's not something I ever wanted to do, I wanted to make up for it. So I brought her some flowers, and I did apologize. I looked her dead in her eyes, and I apologized. But that's what we need to start doing more of. When you hurt somebody's feelings, whether it's purposely or not, it's not for us to sit there and argue our case now. Oh, I said it because of this or because of that. Like, if you really care for someone, go out of your comfort zone and make the apology so you can keep the peace. That's how I would want to be treated if someone hurt my feelings. But we have more great show for you today. I am your host, Pink Princess, and you're watching the Come Out Talk Show. We'll be right back.
My friends are in the club, we'll go all night. I see you in the back, the mood is right. If I just had your number, I would let you know how I feel. You walk up to me, start dancing to the music and the taste. Like this was meant to be. Take my hand, I feel my heart beat. I don't want this moment to stop. Time to go home. Don't want this night to end. Yeah, by the time we stop pretending, come home with me. Let's fight in history. Tonight I'll make you see. It's all about us. It's all about us. As we're dancing close together, making out. It's all about us. It's all about us. There's no magic in your eyes, can't get enough. Feel your hands, the way you're touching me around my neck. Got chills all about you.
Welcome back. So, a shout out real quick. Unambi E. Stanley. I want to give you a Come Out Talk Show round of applause for your outstanding Transgender Visibility Month. We had Transgender Day of Visibility at the beginning of the month, and Unambi E. Stanley said, no, I'm going to keep this going for the whole month. And indeed, she has. She selected some powerhouse people to highlight them the whole month of April. So kudos to you. Also, kudos to you on your many endeavors, and to the other shows that have come out of content creators. Congratulations to you all, too. I wish you all success. Strong, powerful trans women. And can't wait to see some of you, actually. So my Queen of Hearts moment today will be simply this. Have you ever been sick and tired of your own self? Have you ever been so sick and tired of your own self, and you know you can do better? and you start to get on yourself about the things that maybe are not going your own way. Like, I want to go back to school, and I'm sitting here and I'm procrastinating about it. And the only reason I'm procrastinating about it is because I'm nervous. I'm nervous to go back to school and sit in a class full of people, especially now I'm comfortable in my own skin. And, I'm a type of person that I don't like conflict. I don't like drama. I don't like problems. But when they arise, I haven't mastered the art of turning the right cheek, taking the higher road. Like, I have not mastered that. And so these things, and plus I have a little PTSD and I have severe anxiety. So all of this put into play, it makes me very nervous to go back to school. So what I keep telling myself is take little classes, take baby steps, get acclimated to a schedule, and then go from there. Like, I don't do well with schedules that are early in the morning. So then there's night classes, right? And then I'm like, but I want to be doing something else in the night. But then there's weekend classes. There's online classes. I don't have to go in person. You see what I mean? Like, finding solutions for these problems. And a lot of the problems that we have, they're only playing out in our head, unless you really have these severe tangible problems. But yeah, finding better solutions. My theme for this year is making better decisions, making better choices. So I'm definitely writing myself, and I will surely let you guys know what's gonna happen with that. All right, so when we come back, I will bring out our guest this week. I hope you enjoy him. He's very eager to come out. He's actually distracting me a lot in the studio, but we're going to get right to him. You're watching the Come Out Talk Show. I am your host, Pink Princess. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Come Out Talk Show. So, I've known this person here and there through the grapevine, up and down, left and right. And usually, I don't just let everybody come by the studio. Y'all know that. And this season, I said real conversations with real people. So he wanted to show me something. He's very eager. And I saw it, and he did a really good job. And he just kept asking me, when can I come by the studio? When can I come by the studio? So here's your chance, young man. You are now at the Come Out Talk Show. He is older. He is wiser. He has struggled, but he always gets up and fights for another day. He cannot be held down. Please give a warm Come Out Talk Show welcome to Mr. Glenn Starling.
Hey, New York, what's up, Philly? Hey, New York, what's up, Philly? Big bro, sisters, hey, show me your move, show me your move. You know how to dance off, you ready? Ha, ha. Get it, Glenn.
What's up, Glenn?
Okay, I'm feeling good today.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Oh, Skittles wants to join us. Hi, Skittles.
Mhm.
Left you in the bathroom sleeping. Glenn, where you from?
I'm from Philadelphia. My name is Glenn Starling. I'm a 62-year-old heterosexual African American male from South Philadelphia.
From South Philadelphia. All right. So how it works around here is we just gonna have a natural conversation, and we hope to educate someone and teach someone. And I always hope to learn something new. You cool with that?
Sounds good to me.
All right. So where would you like to go? Because you know what we're about to talk to.
Well, I want to start to acknowledge and tell my family and my nieces and 28 nieces and nephews how their uncle attracted HIV.
Contracted HIV.
I got it from having sex with prostitutes, and it was also mainly because of my drug use.
So let's put a pin in it right there. So your former drug use, right?
Yes.
You've been clean for a while.
Yes.
You want to talk about that?
Well, how it affected me and my family, it strained them. It caused me to leave 2 daughters behind in Philadelphia that I lost track of and don't know their names. And if they talk to their mother, maybe they can have them look for me. One was named Nadine, and she lived in Southwest Philly off of 52nd in Baltimore. The other one was named Darlene, and she lived off of 32nd and Allegheny Avenue.
You people in Philadelphia, do some groundwork, like and share, or share, so maybe we can get
Connect my daughters
connected
before a guy called me home.
with your daughters. Yeah.
So I've been living now with HIV for 32 years.
32 years.
Yes.
Wow, that's a long time.
And I have a particular genotype that makes my body doesn't allow the virus to replicate in my body quickly. So I am a non-progressor, and I am undetectable. Now, undetectable is an individual HIV positive who goes to the doctor, get their blood work, and the doctors find out his T cell count is over 1,000, viral load undetectable. That's what makes a person undetectable.
And what does that mean to you, to be undetectable?
It means I have more years added on to my life, and I'm not below 200, and it's not full-blown AIDS. And for the younger generation who happens to get HIV,
So you want to teach the people for a minute? So
Yes.
if it's above 200 copies, that means you are.
undetectable.
But if it's
Below,
if your T cells are above 200,
right,
then you are considered
undetectable.
HIV positive.
Right, HIV
If
positive.
they drop below 200, then
It's,
you're considered
AIDS.
an AIDS diagnosis.
Right.
Okay.
So for individuals of younger generation who get HIV, I'm here to let them know that it's not a death sentence. As long as they take their medication, eat healthy foods, exercise, don't use cigarettes, don't use drugs, don't drink alcohol, they can live a long and successful life.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do people your age still have sex?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, people in senior citizens have sex. From now to the time you go in the grave.
So
People have sex.
that's a myth for those that think that older folks are not having sex, huh?
Yeah, it's a myth.
Y'all
because
getting your grooves
that's
on?
that's why they got Viagra.
okay. I think that's small.
And little
Came
blue pills
across your
expensive, but
Let's
it
like
works.
talk about sex.
Okay.
Okay, that's cute. What was your struggle with HIV?
Well, my struggle was having to be able to express myself to single women that I meet And before we go into the bedroom, and I tell them my diagnosis, I may say probably a lot of them say, well, I don't care. You put 3 condoms on. I'm not going to have sex with you.
So the stigma of having HIV played against you.
Yes.
When it came to you disclosing to women that you were about to be intimate with.
Right.
But you know the good thing about this conversation, you said you disclosed. There's a lot of people that do not
Don't tell.
disclose.
Yes.
So do you think now that you're undetectable that that there's a possibility that you can pass it on to someone? This is just a question.
No.
Because the science says
Right,
that
science
you
says that, but I
cannot
still have to use protection anyway, regardless.
and protect yourself from the other strange things that can.
And the most important
get into
thing
your body
is educating your mate, your partner, letting them school them, teach them, let them know that they can't get HIV from saliva.
So
they can't get it from touching me. You know?
Let's role play for a minute. So me and you are on a date. Because you're looking all sharp, I'm looking all cute.
Right.
So we're on a date, and I say, so Glenn, we've had a fantastic date here today. Let's go back to your place. How would you tell me and make me feel comfortable with you having HIV? What would you tell me?
I would tell you that I have a certain virus that if I don't protect you, I can spread it. So I have to have safe sex. I have to make sure that you're protected and I'm protected.
And what do you mean you have to protect me? What does that look like?
I mean, I have to wear a condom.
Okay.
Okay.
What if I don't want to wear a condom?
Well,
What if I don't want you to wear a condom?
I guess we won't have sex then.
Just like that, huh?
Yes. Because it's life and death.
For you?
It's that serious. And for you too.
For the other person.
Right.
Okay, I like that. You heard me talk about my struggle with homelessness and some of the dangers that I spoke about. I also happen to know that you have had a situation in that area. You care to touch on that a little bit?
Well, a lot of my homelessness happened because of me, my drug use. I mean, I lived in apartments before and owned old loan sharks and drug dealers, and I had to leave everything in the apartment more than one time. You know,
to get out of there.
Refrigerator full of food, clothes, everything. So me starting over again is not really means that much because when I was growing up, my mom always told me, do not let nobody take your life over some material. You know, like they people who die from somebody wanted to take an 8-ball jacket or their Snickers or their gold chain, but ain't nothing man-made worth your life. So a lot of my homelessness situations was self-inflicted. You know, I did a lot of things to myself because of my drug use. So like my grandma and mom would always say, you make your bed, you lay in it.
Hey, I know that saying.
So, but I just thank God he allowed me to live to be 62 years old today and healthy.
Do you regret ordering those prostitutes?
Yeah, I do. But at the time, when you're out there in the world, you don't think about those things. They're not important. You know, you're just out there sowing your oats. So the repercussions and the outcome of your actions and your decisions, those are the repercussions. That you get infected, or you get robbed, or you get locked up, or sometimes you get killed. Before? Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
What they stole? Tell me, none of your business.
Just stuff. Like I said, material stuff, just stuff.
It would have been funny if you would have said none of your business. So I heard you talk about being in the streets. Did you go to jail?
Yeah, I went to jail. I went to jail when I was living in 138th Street in Brook Ave, and I wanted to turn my apartment into a crack house.
Okay.
And then one night I was in there getting high, and I normally turn my bell off. I put it back on because this guy, he was a trucker. He was spending a lot of money, and he wanted a girl. So I put the bell on so the girl calls to come over. And what happened was another guy rang my bell, and I brought the button and let him in. He came into my apartment with a guy that was undercover. I didn't know. He had a big jacket on in the wintertime. And they said, you got something to sell? I said, man, I'm not a drug dealer. I said, I got a little bit on the cardboard here. You know, it's like $20 worth. He said, give it to me. And I gave it to him. He gave me a $20 bill and they left out. And 15 minutes later, the whole narcotics squad was knocking on my door. And I had to open the door because they had no warrant.
Direct sale.
Yeah. So they took me out. And I was going back and forth to court for almost 2 years. And my lawyer told me, Glenn, Mr. Stone, I don't think you're going to win this case. You might as well plead out because you're going to do 2 years. So I pleaded out, and they sent me to our outpatient program, Samaritan Village, where I graduated from, in 6 months. And then I had to go to Bronx outpatient program for drug court and go to outpatient program for another 6 months. And I graduated from there, and then I was done. I was off paper. So the felony that I had was taken away from off paper, off the books, and turned into a misdemeanor. And now I don't have no record.
Good behavior.
Yes.
Hey, high five.
Yeah.
That's good. Have you been back since?
No.
Good. Don't go back.
I'm too old to go to jail.
Why? What are they gonna do to you?
Them young boys nowadays in jail, no telling.
Oh, do tell. I've never been.
Well,
Don't want to go either.
just like that story you said earlier about transgender, like getting 2 women pregnant in jail.
Trans what?
Transvestites.
Oh, well, what? Well, since you're using words, what does that mean? What does
Transgender mean? You know what I'm saying?
No.
Individual that.
Because you know what, Glenn?
What?
Words have a meaning.
Yeah, they do.
And the word transvestite
Uh-huh.
means something.
Okay, well, I'm not really
And I'm going to school you.
educated
Because
on
you're
that.
here in my face
All right.
saying transvestite.
All right.
So what is a transvestite?
Maybe I said the wrong word. Let's move
No,
on.
you said it right. Don't get flustered by
I'm not
a
concerned
little
about that.
a little teaching.
From my knowledge, it was just a man or woman that was born one sex, a man or woman, and chose to change their sex.
Okay, so can I break it all down for you?
Yes.
Transvestite is usually a heterosexual male,
Both
straight,
ways?
like yourself.
Okay.
You want me to tell you? Or you want to tell me? A transvestite is usually a heterosexual male who wears women's clothing for sexual pleasure. Doesn't mean he's gay.
All right.
He likes
Dress up.
to dress up. He likes the way the stockings may make him
Panties
feel.
and bra.
It turns him on.
Okay.
That is transvestite.
Okay.
A drag queen. A drag queen is usually a gay male, but doesn't have to be a gay male. It can be a person who wears women's clothing or dress up in costumes to perform. This is a drag queen.
Okay.
A transgender individual is someone like myself. I identify as transgender. That means I went from being a male to transitioning into a female. Has nothing to do with my sexual body parts. Now, a transsexual has usually undergone
Surgery?
yes,
Okay.
and it's called gender reassignment surgery.
And you take hormones and stuff too?
Transgender women also take
Oh,
hormones
okay.
without having to have surgeries and things of that nature. So when you say transvestite,
Okay.
you know, I know back in the day.
Well, thank you for the education.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue to educate you. You
Sorry.
can't just come over here and
Say it.
blurt out something and sweep it under the rug. Yeah, let's move on because that made you a little
All right,
uncomfortable.
thank you.
No, because the more you educate someone,
Each one
Yeah.
teach one, right?
yeah, and then next time maybe you won't offend
Solid.
anyone. And
say the wrong word.
when someone else is saying it, oh, that's a transvestite.
And they don't know they're talking about.
Then
I
you-
school them.
What you want to say?
Okay.
That ain't no.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. See?
All right.
Yeah. No. Don't be afraid to have a little conflict.
All right.
I scared you for a moment.
Nah.
Do I scare you?
No, you don't scare me.
You want me to scare you?
Come on. What's the next question?
We're gonna take a break. You're watching the Come Out Talk Show. I'm your host, Pink Princess. We'll be right back.
Now, when you go on break, what does the screen say? It's just your phone? But they do. What?
Welcome back to the Come Out Talk Show. I'm your host, Pink Princess. We are sitting here having a lovely chat with Glenn Starling, and we will continue. So, how is the quality of life now versus back when? Because I remember I was a kid when I learned about HIV. First person I ever heard about it was Magic Johnson. And the only reason I heard about it is because the guys in my household were into basketball and sports. And all I remember them saying was, man, Magic Johnson got that stuff, so they don't want to play with him no more. And then later on, I heard about people living with HIV, but I heard it as it was only a gay man's disease. Can we talk about that a little bit? Because clearly you're not gay,
Right.
and
Well,
you have HIV.
No, that's HIV is not a gay man's thing, because you have had individuals with men that's been in prison. They call it brothers on the down low, who've been married, have girlfriends, and they had sex with men in jail, and they came home and slept with their wives and girlfriends and passed the virus that way. You have individuals who got HIV through blood transfusions, no fault of their own. And there's many other different ways that people can get HIV. But the quality of life as far as the medication has changed from a lot of pills to just one pill a day. Like they have their PrEP. They take the PrEP pill, and you can have sex with your partner if your T-cell count is high, undetectable, and it'll prevent your mate from being exposed to HIV.
Come on.
So the quality of life, as far as the individual nowadays getting HIV, is really amazing. It's really up there on a level where you can just have a basic normal life, as long as you're not doing things that harm and poison your body with toxicities and cigarettes and alcohol and drugs and heroin, all that other stuff, and not feeding your body healthy foods and exercising. Those are the key things that would keep you healthy. Working out, eating healthy foods, having a proper diet, not getting diabetes, not having high cholesterol.
What do you do for fun?
Well, what I do for fun is I watch lots of movies. I go play pool.
Is there a special lady in your life?
No, not yet. I'm still single.
Oh, he's single,
Yeah.
ladies.
So I'm definitely looking.
What
But
kind of lady are you looking for, Glenn?
I'm looking for
Tell them.
a God-fearing woman.
Oh, she got
A
fear
woman-
God?
A woman who loves the Lord.
Okay, I like that.
And as my grandma would say, she would say that a woman who puts God first and put herself second, and then maybe she can find love for me.
Aww. And what do you think your greatest strengths are, Glenn?
My greatest strengths are being a communicator, being respected, being respectful, being humble. No matter who I meet, just give them mutual respect and empathy, understanding. Because a lot of situations of individuals in our neighborhoods I can relate to, because I lived it and I've been through it.
You know who my favorite people are in the world?
Who?
People who mind their business.
So
This is my favorite people in the world. I just had a question that I wanted to ask you. Oh, okay. So, shake it up a little bit. What do you think about the swimmer who's transgender that's winning all these medals? From someone else's perspective.
Well,
I'd like to hear this.
That's a big thing because they say that they think that it's not fair because they think that he has more strength.
What do you think?
I think
You
it's a little bit of unfair because a lot of the females are not stamina built like that individual. So it just changes the odds some.
Okay.
You know, it's not like so it's difficult. Same thing like if you had a woman on a football team and the muscular men will run over them. Or
you think so?
Well, now I can't say that. I can't say that in basketball.
I've seen women play football.
Some of the basketball women play better than men.
So. You consider me a basketball woman?
Well, you tall enough to be. You tall enough to be.
So, because like back in the day, my grandmother and my grandfather, they used to play sports. And they used to go at it. Like they would play these board games and I listened to them and they made a competition out of it. But I noticed my grandfather sometimes would let my grandmother win because he felt like, I don't know, I guess he loved her and he wanted her to feel good. But I think under the table, she was whooping that ass though. But is it sort of like that? Like, I don't know. You gave me a direct answer. Okay. Do you know any transgender people?
Yes.
Okay.
There's a few of them on my program.
Okay. And what is your take on, and it's your take, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, I'm not going to pull them out either. What is your take on the whole aspect of someone who's, more specifically, children? What if you had a child that came up to you and said, I'm different. I am not the same sex that was assigned to me at birth. What would be your response? What would be your
my response would be, people are people. Everybody's human. Regardless of what gender you choose to have or to be. It's your life. The only person you have to answer to on this earth, you don't have to answer to no man, woman, or child on this earth. Only person you got to answer to is your higher power and God when that time comes. So all of us, the billions and billions of people around the world, no matter what your sexual preference is, so be it. You know, what I eat don't make you go to the bathroom. So every individual that's why, like my grandma said, you wake up in the morning, your eyes open up, your feet hit the floor. God gives us free will. And then that free will is about choices. Choices and decisions. Sometimes you make the right choice. Sometimes you make the wrong choice. Sometimes you can be in the right place at the right time, in the wrong place at the wrong time. Sometimes things happen to you that you don't even expect. Like the other day, guy looking to shoot a guy on the street and he missed him and hit the lady and her baby. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, a lot of things that can happen, you're always out there in the world, your head's on a swivel and you keep your guards up because you never know what's going to happen. You always expect the unexpected. But as far as the thing with the decisions of individuals choosing what sex and who they want to sleep with or who they want to be, is up to them.
Because you're from the old school.
Yes.
And was it accepting back then?
It was more hitting. It was more in the closet, clothes, and hush mouth. You know.
Like you sneak and you go out and get dressed.
Behind closed doors.
You know what I used to do when I was a kid?
What?
About 11 years old. And I already knew who I was when I was very young. But every time I tried to tell someone, they told me I was either crazy or I need to be in a mental hospital. So you know what I used to do? I used to take clothes from my foster mothers or my foster sisters, and I'd go deep into the woods and down a path, and I'd go off and deep into the woods. And I'd change there, and I'd march around in some heels and dresses and just play dress up until the sun went down. And then I'd take all that shit off and pack it in my book bag and go back home. But I couldn't bring the backpack home. So, I used to have to hide it in the woods. And in those woods, it used to be an old cemetery. So as scared as I was, because Night of the Living Dead was very popular back then, scared shitless, but I wanted to be myself to where I didn't care if, because it was just a bunch of dead people looking at me anyway. And yeah, so the times, but you saying it was very hush hush just brought me back to that. So yeah, thank you for that. Well, we are almost out of time. Last season I allowed every guest that came on the talk show to ask me one question of their choosing. This season I think I might bring that back. Starting with you. Glenn, if there's anything that you'd like to ask me, anything, I have to answer it honestly. So here we go. What would you like to ask me?
I want to ask you if you would help me and guide me to be able to start my own podcast.
Oh, that's something I can help you do. What you want to do? Like something like this?
Yes,
like
I want to reach out. Yeah, I
or-
want to do a talk show. People call in
Yeah.
from all around the world, and people living with HIV and AIDS, and tell their stories.
Yeah.
But I think it's time for people to know that every life matters. That all the people, thousands, millions of people who died from HIV and AIDS, they were somebody. They had jobs. They had families, and people don't hear about that. They just keep moving. I want people to know we need to have a museum where people can go and see and hear and learn about people's lives and jobs and families that lived and died in America. That's why I want my podcast to be named HIV in America.
And you're
Living and dying with HIV and AIDS in America.
Absolutely.
That's going to be the name of my book and my podcast.
So, I know how to get you out there on the radio, on Spotify's and stuff like that. And I can definitely give
Hopefully
you...
this is the start right here.
And plus, I
See
can
me
give
on
you...
your podcast. Hope it blow up.
Oh, okay. I want to blow up too.
Maybe I can get a sponsor.
Okay. Anything is possible, and you already know that.
So,
Anything you put your mind to.
solid.
So I see you challenging me. So I guess I have to add producer hat
Solid.
on there and see what we can do. But I will tell you this. If you're serious about it, we will definitely get up and we'll talk. We'll create a business plan.
Okay.
And I'm going to be tough on you because
All right.
I got a lot of good stuff to offer to say to people. And I don't think you should keep it hidden. Very proud of you and your
Thank you.
growth and your strength. And I really appreciate you coming by.
Anytime.
Talk show.
Thank you.
And thank you.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, next week we will kick off our talent show. You're watching the Come Out Talk Show. Until we meet next week, take care and have a great weekend. This is
Thank you.
You're welcome. And this is our guest, Glenn Starling. Give it up for him. You did a wonderful job.
Thanks.
Right. And we will wrap up the Come On Talk Show with our theme song, which is by Basics featuring Frega. I think I said that.
You're a rebel, getting into trouble. You're kinda like a fire, like a fire, like a fire. Unpredictable, so original. You're never backing down, backing down, backing down. That's what I like about you. So dangerous, I get this rush when I'm with you.
I think like my theme song. All right, sing it out.
We're gonna succeed. We're gonna succeed. We're gonna win. We're gonna lead.
Okay.
We're gonna be on time today.
All right.
All we gotta do is pray, pray, pray.
You don't care what people say. People say. People say.
All right. Love you too, baby.
I'm going crazy.
It's gonna be our time. It's gonna be rich.
You know how you make it
Hell yeah, baby. I'm gonna have my show. I'm gonna write my book. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna find me a wife. I'm gonna have a better life. I hope you find that right. Oh, we gotta get right to it. Very respectful, you know what I mean? A lot of haters, a lot of people don't like you. That's okay. They don't like you. Right. Hey, they don't pay your bills. They don't pay your bills. We're gonna have a little shot. Yeah. The higher power, baby. And your head for $2. Yeah. Nice Saturday. No rain. All right. Bye-bye. Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bring it back again. We're gonna catch the train and go to Mount Eden, right?
Yes.